Hey, and welcome to today's Ask the Mayor program. We've got a great program lined up for you today, and I have a special guest that's coming in today to answer one of the questions on the Ask the Mayor program.
Now available at the Douglasville Welcome Center, the 2007 Downtown Keepsake. This year's Keepsake is a beautiful depiction of the Farmers and Merchants Bank building at the corner of Broad and Campbellton Streets. Don't miss this opportunity to own your piece of historic downtown Douglasville. This year's Downtown Keepsake is available now at the Douglasville Welcome Center, 6694 Broad Street, next to O'Neill Plaza.
I'm Judy Davis with the Pregnancy Resource Center here in Douglasville, and I'd like to ask the mayor, how does the city help with the outreach of the various ministries and outreach programs in the community? How does the city help help them to connect with the people in need? Thank you.
Well, thank you for that question. That is going to be a rather difficult question to ask, and I have a special guest with me today, Ms. Betty Gooden, who is going to help me answer that question. Betty, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Betty is a longtime Douglas County resident, and she is the director of Angel Food Ministry.
Correct.
And we appreciate you coming in to talk with us about that today. Can you tell me a little bit about the history of your ministry? I understand it started here in Georgia but has developed into a nationwide program.
Yes, it has. It's Angel Food Ministries is in 32 states now, and they serve over 1 million people. Originally, Pastor Joe Wingo started the ministry in New Hope, Georgia, which is right out of Monroe. And he started it to help single moms with their grocery needs. And then he discovered that not just single moms needed the groceries, but husbands and wives both were out there working, trying to make ends meet with their grocery needs. So he opened it up to everyone. So since it's Christian-based and it's God's ministry, you do not have to qualify for this ministry like so many other programs. All you have to do is come into our office at the Housing Authority and order whatever you'd like and pay the cash money for it. Mm-hmm. So we take your name and write it down on a master sheet and give you a receipt for it. And that's all there is to it. It's real easy.
Well, it certainly does sound easy. How did you become involved in the program?
Well, the program started with one of the with the Human Resource Office here with Talatuna many years ago. Mm-hmm. And they were using the community building, the property that I managed, the Alpha Fowler community, and I was doing the distribution for them on Saturdays. And then they decided to quit because they were having to pay employees to work it on Saturday. And so I asked my director, Mr. Brewer at the Housing Authority, if I could take on the program. Mm-hmm. So we talked about it, and we decided it would be a real good program initially for our residents of the Housing Authority, but then we opened it up to the whole community. So we have people that come as far away as Villa Rica and Mableton from all over, because it doesn't matter where you live or how much you make, because you don't have to qualify.
I see. Yeah.
So it's grown to a very large ministry, and when I start talking about angel food, it's my passion, and it's hard for me to shut up.
Well, no, we certainly appreciate you coming in today to talk with us about it, because we know it's important. We also know you're the executive director. And how long have you been a director, and what are some of your duties and roles as a director?
Of the Angel Food Ministry? Mm-hmm. Okay. We have to take the orders in and write up the receipt. People come into the office at random, and then I have to keep the books on it. And there's always a cutoff day when you have to order by, because it's a prepaid system. So for November, you have to order by November the 5th. And then you'll pick your order up. I believe it's on November the 17th is the distribution day. Mm-hmm. It's a $50 food value for $25. But it is a lot of work involved in doing it, trying to keep up with it, because I have a separate checking account with a separate bank from the Housing Authority that all the money goes into. So I have to collect the money, and then I'll do a company check and send Angel Food every month for the boxes that we've purchased, that we've ordered.
I see. So it's a $50 box of food. The value on it's
$75.
$75, and you pay $25
You pay
for that.
$25,
So there
correct.
is some amount that you have to pay.
Correct.
For
And I just have a passion for it because today, with our gas prices being so high, I think there's a lot of people that don't know about this ministry, and they think that if they buy food from this ministry, they think they're taking food away from a needed family. But it's just the opposite. When you buy food, you're helping a needed family, because every dollar that I get, I put with that the other and buy food twice, 2 boxes of food a month for low-income residents or anyone that needs a box of food. And then in November, we buy 200 boxes of food to give away to all low-income housing authority residents as a holiday gift box. So when you buy a box of food, if you buy a box of food, you're helping to help the people in the community.
That cannot buy the food.
That's right, and that's the message I want to get across, is this is for everyone. It's for you and it's for me and anyone that wants it, and when they get it, they're helping someone else.
But I would pay full price for it.
You would pay full price for
Right.
it.
And then the profit off of that would go toward buying other food.
Correct.
For those that are less
Correct.
fortunate.
I have sponsors. The Housing Authority is our #1 sponsor because they offset the cost of handling, the administrative costs. And then Airway Christian Ministries, they allow me to use their facilities on the distribution day. So we're there from 7 to 9 doing the distribution. And from 7 to 9, we could run 400 boxes of food through there. And the food comes in bulk, and it has to be unloaded off of the truck and set up on an assembly line. And the volunteers do this. This program would not work without volunteers.
So it's all volunteers.
It's
that
all
help with the program.
volunteers. I never worry about having enough people. I just depend on God for it, because He sends the volunteers every month. If I had to worry about having people there at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, ooh, I'd hate to think. But God sends the people to volunteer. And we have some volunteers that's been with me for 9 years.
Well, that's wonderful. While you were talking, I thought of 2 questions, and I'll ask both of them at the same
Okay.
time. And I was curious where you get the food from, the boxes of food that comes in that you have to unload. And the second question is, if there's someone that might want to volunteer to help you with this program, what do they need to do to become a volunteer?
Okay, to become a volunteer, all you have to do is come to the distribution site, Airway Christian Ministries, on distribution day, and just ask for me, and I'll have you to sign in on a log sheet, and we put you to work.
Okay, and the food, the boxes of food that you're
The
selling,
boxes of food.
where does that come from?
Pastor Joe Wingo negotiated with the wholesalers and the grocers way back there when he first started the ministry, and they sell to him at the same price they would to the grocery stores. In some cases, when they have an abundance of food of one item, then they give it to him cheaper. But everything is fresh, it's top quality food, it's name brand food, it's not seconds or outdated.
Okay. Do you find that those who are taking advantage of your program are typically doing it for a short period of time until they get on their feet and are able to buy food at the grocery store? Or how does a program recipients typically work?
That's what I want to clear up. See, it's not for people that want to get on their feet.
It's not?
No,
Okay.
it's for people, it's for you.
Okay.
It's for me. And the service that you get is better than the service that you get at your local grocery store.
Okay, and so those that would buy the food like you or I, then we are buying it from you so you make a profit and you can then help those that need
Correct.
help. Okay, I
Correct.
understand.
So then that way it goes into a fund to buy for the needed.
So you need folks to come in and buy your food so you can make a
I need people to come and buy
profit.
this. They're not only helping themselves with their groceries for the month, but they're helping someone else.
Well, that's amazing. You're doing a terrific job.
Oh, I
doing
love
that.
Angel Food because I just know there's a need for it out there. And with the price of gas today, people are spending their grocery money to buy gas to get to work on. And they don't realize that there's this ministry out there and it's open to everybody. You know, it's not for the needed or the poor or the people that's down and out. It's for everybody. We get the food ourselves, and we usually cook some of the meat for Sunday dinner, you know. So it's good food.
Well, I know you invited me several years to your annual banquet that you have for those who come out and help you administer and work this program. Can you tell us a little bit about the banquet and how you reward those that give of their time so freely to help you?
Correct. The banquet I do annually, and it's to show appreciation to all the volunteers because, like I said, this program wouldn't work without volunteers. And I have a sponsor. It's Neon Beach Nail Salon. They give me a $25 gift certificate to the Cracker Barrel every month. Okay. So when the volunteers come in every month, they sign in on a log sheet. Once they've volunteered for 6 months consecutively, then they go into a pool to be picked as Volunteer of the Month. Okay? So then after we get through with our distribution on Saturday morning, then we all gather around and we have prayer requests, and then we pull the name out of the envelope for the Volunteer of the Month.
That's going to Cracker Barrel.
That's going to Cracker Barrel, correct.
Well, that is
and
correct.
Then at the banquet every year, Angel Food Ministries, they send staff members, or Pastor Joe himself comes as a guest speaker. And I send the names in, and he brings appreciation certificates to everyone to give to them, presents to them. And then they get a logo shirt from Angel Food Ministries at the banquet. So they get recognized at the banquet. That month that they are picked as Volunteer of the Month, they're recognized there on site. And then at the banquet, they get recognized because that's what it's about.
Well, Betty, I know you've talked about the quality of the food, and I believe that each week the menu items that are in the box are different.
Each month.
Each month that they're different, and also you have shared with me that churches typically buy the food from you, and they use it for their Wednesday night fellowship dinner. Do you have maybe a sample of this month's menu that we could talk about so our viewers might get a better idea about this food? And I also understand it's enough food for a predetermined period of time. Is that correct?
Yes. 1 month's menu consists of about 16 to 18 items, and there's always at least 4 to 6 meats in there, fresh meats. 1 month's menu will feed a family of 4 for 1 week. And that's costing the family $25. So they can buy as many orders as they would like. So they could buy 4 boxes of food, and that would last their family for a whole month if they have freezer space to put it, because there's always at least 5 to 6 meats, and then there's the vegetables and the staple items. We also have specials, and like for October we had a number one meat special was for $18. It's 4 8-ounce T-bone steaks and 2-pound ribeye steaks. And then the number 2 was all of them are $18, and you get 4 8-ounce KC strip steaks and 4 8-ounce New York strip steaks. So you can get as many orders as you like of everything.
You're making me hungry talking about all of this.
All the steaks.
But
yes.
I guess the really good thing about this is people that participate in your program are helping other people.
They're helping other
that
people.
are less fortunate.
Absolutely.
And that's what
and
this is
one
all
other
about.
thing I wanted to mention that I hadn't said to you is that I sponsor a children's home. The lady in Bremen, she takes in DFACS children from all over the metro Atlanta area. Her biggest need is food. I have about 6 people anonymously that buy boxes of food for her every month. But if you buy a box of food and you don't get there to pick it up at the date and time designated, then you lose your money and you lose your food. I send the food to Miss Kathy, the children's home. That way it doesn't go to waste. And like Airway lets us use their facilities, but we have to be out by 9:30 because they've got other activities going on in the building. The food is perishable. We don't have any place to store it, so I send it to Miss Kathy. So if you don't pick up your food,
it's used.
It's not going to waste, and it's going to a real good cause. It's going to some children that really need food.
Well, that is great. Do you have any anonymous donors who buy food for someone else and that someone else
Yes.
doesn't know
Yes.
who is buying
yes,
their food?
absolutely. Anytime you want to buy a box of food for someone, you could go ahead and pay for it and put it in their name and give me their phone number, and I'll call them and tell them that there's been a box of food purchased for them, and they don't have to know who it was.
So if we have any of our viewers that want to help those that are in need and they want to do it anonymously,
Correct.
they can call your office and arrange that, and then you will make contact with the person
Yes,
that
I'll
they're
be
buying
happy to
the
do
food
that.
for.
I'll be happy to do that, but most of all, if they just want to send in a donation, I always have people on my list that need food. And there's always people showing up and saying, do you have any extra? Which I don't have extra, but I can take their name and put them down
Right.
for the next month.
So you can do it anonymously for a specific person or
Correct.
a group of people, or just as a donation
Right.
to those who.
Because coming up next month in November, I need donations for the 200 boxes of food that we're going to buy for the low-income housing authority residents.
Okay.
And the volunteers, they get very excited about November because they get to go door to door and deliver these boxes to the recipient, and that's a blessing to them.
Sure it is. Betty, I know you have some wonderful volunteers that help you. As a matter of fact, one of the city employees, Patty Ellis, who is the Welcome Center manager, I understand helps you with your ministry. Can you tell, and I know there's some great stories that you've shared with me before about some of those people who work with you and help you on a routine basis, and I understand some of them have been there for an extremely long time. And we also have visited you last Saturday and did some filming, and I know we're going to look at that a little bit later. But can you tell me a little bit about some of your volunteers?
I sure can. As a matter of fact, Patty is one of the volunteers. She's one of the primary volunteers. Patty has been volunteering, I think, for 7 or 8 years. And she sits on the front table. When people come in, they'll find 4 ladies at the front table. And one of them is usually myself. And I check in the orders, the people when they come in. We check them off the master list from the receipt that they have. And then they'll move down to Patty. And Patty has the menu for the next month. And they can look at the menu if they want to purchase for the next month. Then Patty takes their name and gives them a receipt for their order, for their money. Then there's Tony Gonzalez. Tony is the one that oversees the food as it comes in off of the truck. He's the one that has the manifest sheet and counts it, him and Gil Aldridge. And they're both with the Masonic Lodge here. So they're a big supporter of ours also. And then we have the Eastern Star ladies that's on the back line, and they're putting the food in the boxes as the other volunteers slide the boxes down the table. We also have one lady that's almost blind. In fact, all she can see is shadows. And she was so excited to be able to get to volunteer. So Tony always puts her at one item and she puts it in the box as the box comes down, you know. And then there was a lady, her and her grandsons come. And her one of her grandsons was picked as Volunteer of the Month. His name is Dakota Eddington. Okay. And I think Dakota's about 8 years old. And oh, he's a hard worker. He gets upset when they won't let him take but one box off of the truck. He says he can take more than one box. But all of the volunteers are very special. But Dakota's grandmother, she was riding one of the kids' scooters or something on Friday, and she fell off of it, and she had a big old knot on her head and a black eye. But she was there Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. All the volunteers are very faithful. Once they come, I don't know what it is, but it's just something wonderful about it. We have a volunteer, her name is Frida Sims. In fact, she's an employee of the Housing Authority, and she's called the Songbird. And she's singing I'll Fly Away or some kind of song during the whole distribution. And people just come and gather around. And we have people from the Baptist denominations, from the Methodist, Presbyterian, we have the Jews, we have the Catholic, we have all denominations and from all walks of life. And that's what makes the program so wonderful, that we can all come together like we do as a nation and as a village, you know. We all come together to serve one purpose, and that's to help people and to do God's work.
Well, that's wonderful. Let's cut away from the program just a little bit and take a look at some of the work that some of your volunteers are doing.
Thank you.
Okay?
My name is Patty Ellis. I'm the Welcome Center Manager for the City of Douglasville, Monday through Friday. But one Saturday a month, I'm an Angel Food volunteer.
I'm Carolyn Wiggins. I've been volunteering with Angel Food Ministries for about 7 years now. I enjoy it very much. It's the Lord's ministry.
Hi, my name is Tony Gonzalez, and I'm an assistant to Betty on Angel Foods Ministries. We volunteer on Saturdays here, and we get a lot of volunteers to come and help us organize and distribute food to the people who need it, and also the people who do not need it.
Hello, my name is Raymond Bell. I'm with the Angel Food Network, and I've been working here for a number of years.
Hi, I'm Rose Eddington. I come here once a month, every month, with my two grandsons, Justin and Dakota Eddington, and we really enjoy this. We feel like we're giving something back to the community we get so much from.
I'm Janice Blissett, and I'm the property manager at the Housing Authority, and I just love volunteering in Angel Food Ministries. It's a wonderful organization.
Well, let's close by letting our audience know if they want to buy food from you, where they need to come and when they need to come. And if someone wants to get involved, where do they go and who do they call? So those who are watching this program today and they're interested in it, so they'll know how to help you.
Correct.
And then in turn you can help other people.
Okay. Well, we do need sponsors because that's the way the ministry works, is donations to help buy the food for the needed. But all you have to do is come to the Housing Authority or call the Housing Authority. The Housing Authority office is 8474 Pound Circle, which is right across the railroad tracks. The number is 770-942-3121, and I'm at extension 12, but anyone that answers the phone can really help you with anything, any questions that you have in reference to Angel Food.
And volunteers, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. but
Volunteers
let's-
can do the same thing. They can call me at the office, or they can show up on distribution day.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being
Thank
here
you, Mr.
today.
Mayor. I
to help me
appreciate it.
answer the question. That was a very good question that we had, and I knew that you would have answers on how we could help people in the community.
In the community, correct.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here.